Пока крутился таймер, там такие дикие звуки с улицы. Как будто, простите, лось трахнул дельфина. Ты дальше бухать? Я так мимо проходил. Не жди от меня пока ничего. Я занятый. О, точно. О, подожди. Уж если мы в этих краях, надо хоть домашней еды поесть, а не вот этого вот всего. Доброе утро.
Hey, lad. Don't you want a little wager on the Ratte tourney?
Да чё там заключать турнир? Я победю и чё? Спишь? Спи, спи. Я только перекушу и пойду. Так, а где-то здесь должен быть проезд через реку нормальный. Но вот это я уже не помню. Да ёпперный! Чё, охерел? Обезьяна.
Fucker! Is that all you've got? Але до предела.
От курва слышу. Ты кто такой, а?
I'll slay you, you scum! Fuck it! You'll pay for that!
Чертила. А, это черный Петр. Вы прикиньте. Этот хер на меня обиделся, оказывается. А, слушай, я почему-то при смерти. Прикольно.
Hey, lad, don't you want a little wager on the ratte tourney?
Короче, я теряю 110 единиц хп, а тварь календула восстанавливает 30. При этом сожрать что-либо другое я уже не смогу. Тереза, помоги! Так. Сяду, посижу. Может, просто умру, не знаю. Но пока что мне очень плохо и бобо. Я и забыл, что здесь можно наносить на лезвие всякое. И этот черт нанес яд. Вот ведь черт, а! Ты смотри. Обиженка проклятая. Надо к птачку сходить, сдать его, если жив останусь. А я, походу, все-таки сдохну, потому что характеристика здоровья у меня падает просто критически. Да. Мы точно подыхаем.
I haven't even started yet.
Шлепок проклятый. Так, вычитание хпшки замедлилось. Может быть, в этот раз получится выжить. Замедлилось почти в ноль, стоит на месте. 3 отвара календулы, выпитые подряд, суммируются. Это интересно. Да что ты меня, одуванчик? Видишь, не до одуванчика игра. И не, да я его сейчас в бочке с водой утоплю еще дополнительно. Я понимаю, что я его уже насмерть затыкал, но все равно. Все в порядке, я буду жить. Рад, что все беспокоятся обо мне. Кстати, хорошее место для чтения, говорят. Я бы почитал, но заснуть боюсь. Такое ощущение, что у меня к календуле привыкания. Она все быстрее и быстрее теряет эффективность. Фу, в плюс пошел. Аллилуйя. Ну-ка, говна кусок. Где? Черный. Нет, ты все-таки черный пидор, я правильно тебя назвал изначально. Я прям как чувствовал. А, так вот, куча с говном. Это как раз для тебя. Вот, ты здесь прям как родной. Иди вот туда вот. Вот. Прям хрюльником в это. Отлично. Теперь моя душа довольна. Нитку твою чё? Опять же кто-нибудь ушибется. Ох, урод. Очень не хватает еще какой-нибудь засады на дороге, чтобы я уж точно ласты склеил.
I'll be with you. I'm looking for Sakuno. Sakuno? Baron Rickvold. Isn't this his camp?
You won't get nothing out of him. You must be Radzig's man. I heard he was supposed to send someone.
Yes, Sir Radzig sent me as a guide. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakey. And this here fella, we call the Stone.
I can see why. What's up with him? Cat got his tongue?
No, more like the dog got it. The executioner's dog. When the executioner ripped it out of him. Anyway, you better come along with me. I'll introduce you to the other fellas. And the chief. These here are the Bearman brothers, Petter and Jan. They're a barrel of laughs, except when they're too drunk to string two words together. Like now. Don't get on the wrong side of them, though. When their blood is up, well, it ain't a pretty sight.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Never mind the fancy poses, Stefan. You're trying to kill the fucker, not teach him how to dance. And you, Dangler, stand your ground. Don't let him lead you round by the nose.
Sir? Well, sir, this is Henry. From Lord Kobler.
Ah, it's about time Rads had got round to this. We need someone who knows their way around these parts. Leave off with the bowing and curtsying. We don't hold with that tomfoolery here.
Jakey! Where the hell are you sneaking off to? Go to the farm and get water. The lads are thirsty.
But I went last time.
And you'll go next time, you ungrateful pup. Get your ass moving.
Snot-nosed brat. You pull them out of a pile of shit, and they thank you with back talk. Where were we? Oh yeah. We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you, Herman.
It's Henry.
Right. Well, as I said to Radzig, I don't want to carry any dead weight. We could find ourselves in some very tight situations where every sword counts.
I know how to handle a sword, all right?
I've heard a lot of fellas say that. They still ended up on the wrong end of one.
We'll find out. Stefan, take a break. Dangler, let's find out what Harold here can do.
Sure. No problem, Chief.
У меня утро точно началось неправильно.
Gone weak at the knees, have you?
Нет. Вообще насрать. А у тебя? Завтрак не вылетел из тебя еще?
You didn't fare badly at all, I must say. You can ride with us.
All right, good. Thanks.
Don't thank me yet. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Утром звездюлей получил, чуть от яда не сдох, еле оклемался, приехал, опять чуть не получил. Да что за день-то, твою мать?
Sir Kuno, can you tell me something about yourself?
Drop the sir. That title brought me nothing but grief. But what do you want to know?
Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold family lost its wealth. How did that happen?
There's all sorts of ways to become impoverished. Nothing easier. Especially when your father's a fool. And your mother's mad as a bat.
Oh.
But it's a long and twisted story. We took our name from Rickvold Castle. But that actually belonged to the convent of the Poor Clares in Tynitz. And my father only leased it. You see, he knew the abbess there since they were young. Knew her very well. There was even talk that she only joined the order because her family wouldn't let her marry him. Anyway, whether he was fucking her right there in the convent, or he just took a lot of interest in scripture, he spent an awful lot of time in Tynitz.
Oh, he might have been after a bit of both.
Sinning and confessing all in one place. Well, I can see the convenience of it. Anyway, my mother never had strong nerves. Truth be told, her sanity was always shaky. Pa's escapades drove her cuckoo entirely. Then, one frosty December morning, I was woken by screaming and smoke. I looked out the window, and I saw my mother there, in the courtyard, wreathed in flames. Behind her, the stables, the farm buildings and the tower were burning too. And she just stood there, shrieking with laughter.
Christ, that sounds like a scene straight out of hell.
Hellish it was, I can tell you. Me and my sister Adela and a few servants managed to get out before the whole place went up. I couldn't get to my father. Or my little brother. Poor lad was only 7. My sister and I were left destitute after the fire. But then my cousin, Adam of Drevich, took us into his castle. A few weeks later, he offered to buy what was left of our estates and sell me a small fortress near Akovnik. It was a great relief. We suddenly had some hope of a future again. So I told my sister about it. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. A week later, the two of them announced to me they were getting married. And all that was left of our estates, lands, woods, villages, Adela was to get it all as a dowry.
But surely that was for you to decide. You were the head of the family, right?
Aye. Only I barely had 17 years under my belt, and I'd just lost everything. Of course, I argued with them, and that was the only excuse they needed to kick me out of Drevich too.
That's pretty harsh.
You're telling me. But I'm not complaining. As my pa always used to say, if you can turn your hand to something, you'll never be lost. I doubt it ever crossed his mind how often I'd remember those words.
Нормальная история. Нормально чувак пожил.
What about your debt to Sir Radzig? How did that come about?
A twist of fate, lad. I was fighting in the hostilities between the House of Schallenberg and the town of Colleen. Some trade dispute it was, and I fought under the Schallenberg colours. In the end, the two sides negotiated a truce, and I rode to Colleen with the delegation that was to parley there. We stopped off at an inn on the way, and it was there that I met Radzig Kobyla. I could tell at first sight he was a man after my own heart. A likeable rogue, with a sharp mind and a merry soul. We spent the whole night drinking together and talking, and in the morning we set off together, with sore heads, but in good temper, since he was travelling the Colleen same as I was. Only, once we reached the city gates, they arrested me on the spot. Seems the burghers had it in for me, since I'd been making their lives hell for a good 6 months. On the other hand, I was a member of the peace delegation, so by rights, they shouldn't have even looked at me sideways. And then it hit me why Radzig was there. Colleen is a royal city, so he was there to represent the king's interests.
I see. So he was on the other side.
That's right. Anyway, they threw me in a dungeon, and a few days later word reached me that the Schallenbergs had reached an agreement with the burghers. Only part of the deal was they would give them my head. And I'd surely have ended my days swinging from the town battlements if it hadn't been for Radzig. He liked me, and he could see it was a dirty trick, so he somehow squared things with the city council.
Lucky for you.
Indeed. I owe my life to Radzig, and I'll never forget it. He's asked me twice before for help. This is the 3rd time, and how could I refuse him?
I'd like to ask about your men.
Ask away.
What about the fellow they call Dangler?
I've never ridden with a better man, I can tell you. He doesn't say a lot, but for that, he listens all the better. Nothing escapes him.
So he scouts for you?
Not just that. It's happened more than once. I was closing a deal with someone, and Dangler told me after that he didn't like the smell of the fella nearly every time he was right, and the fellow tried to stab me in the back afterwards.
Those Behrman brothers are quite a pair.
Indeed they are. There's no more mercy in them than in, well, a bear. If I told them to skewer you on the spot, they'd do it, without batting an eyelid.
Jesus.
Oh, aye. They'd argue first about which one of them got to do the job. But they're as obedient as a huntsman's dogs. Real soldiers, the pair of them. Reliable, as long as they don't get too drunk. Then there's no keeping them under control. But nobody's perfect.
What can you tell me about Stefan?
Fletching. For one thing, He's a very resourceful fellow.
How did he come to join your band?
Well, let's just say he was in the right place at the right time. You'll find he has quite a knack for that.
What exactly happened?
Sorry, I'd love to tell you the whole story, but I'd be betraying his trust.
Oh, now you've got me curious. Maybe I should ask him myself.
Sure, why not? Our Fletch does love to converse.
What about that dumb one? How did he end up with you?
The stone? Oh, he just kind of tagged along.
Just like that?
Aye, just like that. We were riding from Olomouc to a castle past Kladsko, when we ran into him and some other wayfarers camping along the way. You know how it goes. We made acquaintance with them, had a drink or two. Then we travelled on together. After all, there's safety in numbers.
I'm not sure I'd be thinking that if I ran into you lot on the road.
We might have done some things I ain't proud of, but wayfarers are sacred even for me. Anyway, our fellow travellers dropped off along the way. One in Mohelnitz, one in Schoenberg, and the rest in Kladsko. Except for the stone. He stuck with us the whole way. The fellas kept asking him what he was after. But of course he never said a word. When we were approaching Barsdorf, I ordered the men to get rid of him. I had some business at the castle, and I didn't want any strangers sticking their noses in. Stefan tried to tell him nicely, but he just sat there, staring like he was turned to stone. That's when we gave him the name. Then the Bearman brothers tried to get him off his horse. He booted Jan in the face and knocked him out cold. Then he jumped down and felled Petter with one punch. A man who can do that is a man you want on your side. So we kept him.
Weren't you worried about having a stranger in your band? Especially one who didn't talk.
No, I figured if he can't talk, he can't tell. Besides, I've had worse.
Ну, а писать? Или он писать не умеет?
What about Jakey?
Jakey, that boy will be the death of me. You've got to be tough on him, or he's good for nothing. But I'm fond of him, in a way.
Like a son?
I wouldn't go that far. But I've no family of my own. And unlike those other cutthroats, he seems to me like a good lad.
Well, you're pretty hard on him, though. And the others keep him on his toes, too.
The boy needs a firm hand. I was like him once, and I got the same too. If we let him be, we'd end up with a third bear man. And who'd want that?
True. 2 is more than enough.
Прикольная компания, и это в противовес некоторым играм, когда вот, ну... Иногда бывает, что игру напичкивают текстом, напичкивают разговорами, но там просто уши вянут. До такой степени унылые, скучные, однообразные какие-то тупые, неинтересные истории этих персонажей, которые просто вот оторви и выбрось, ни уму, ни сердцу, вот все эпитеты туда подходят. То есть просто пустое напичкивание текстом. Здесь реально интересные ребята. Все прописаны интересно. Вроде один чувак про всех рассказал, а каждый какой-то уникальный, прикольный со своей историей. Вот что бывает, если работает сценаристом.
Should we ride out?
Aye, we ought to set out on patrol about now. Hope you've got your kit ready and whatnot. I'd like to head to the north. Is there anything interesting that way?
North of here, Samapesh and Merhoyed are that way, and Talmberg is a bit further on. There's stables in Merhoyed.
I wouldn't mind paying a visit to those stables. We can go through there.
And from there?
From there, we'll follow our noses. Something interesting is sure to turn up. I feel it in my bones. Mount up and let's go.
Sure. Chief.
Фига себе, какая шашечка.
What a fine day, eh, brother?
Indeed, brother.
You know what I like best about days like this, Jan?
The scent of chamomile wafting from the hillsides.
Among other things.
Ah, like the rounded hills, rising, purtling, all soft and pink in the sunlight.
And the fertile valley below, spreading wide and inviting.
Dew glistening in a mossy hollow.
The sweet aroma of honey in the air.
The sturdy poplar, standing tall and erect.
Aye. It reminds me of that day. That day where the two of us fucked Fletcher's ma.
Уроды.
Very droll. You'd make a stuffed bird laugh.
Your ma's a stuffed bird. I stuffed her myself.
I can't smell any chamomile.
Well, men, how are things?
May I?
Yes, Fletch?
How shall I put it? I'm a little concerned about the prospects in these parts, Chief.
Oh? How's that?
I've been looking around, and if you'll pardon me, it seems to me that we've been stuck for a long time in the arsehole of beyond.
It's not Paris, France, I'll grant you.
What I mean to say is, I haven't got any new kit or arrows since the day Jakey joined us. It makes me uneasy, Chief.
I see. What about the rest of you?
I don't know what Fletcher's moaning about. There's plenty of booze and loose wenches nearby.
Not to mention fools in the taverns who don't know when to stop rolling those dice.
Dangler?
It's the arsehole of beyond everywhere we go. It always makes me uneasy.
Jakey?
Fletch can complain. I was supposed to get a suit of armor, and all I got was a shitty kettle hat.
Sorry, but they don't do hauberks in girl sizes.
Oh? Well, how did you get yours then?
All right, I appreciate your honesty, lads. Don't worry, there will be plunder. We're here to fight, and to the victor the spoils. That's how it's always been, but no purse of silver will shed blood for you on the battlefield. That's what this company is for. And I hope you never forget the golden rule. You can joke all you want, moan all you want, but nothing will keep your skins in one piece better than trusting your leader, who you choose by your own free will. So don't ever forget that.
Amen.
Chief, I think there's something going on over there.
Let's go. Behind me, and keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What do you think we can expect this time, fellas?
Yeah.
Groschen, hidden in a piss pot under the bed. A nice chunk of beef no one there will be eating.
On account of it'd just fall out through the holes in their bellies, eh, brother? Yeah.
My mouth is already watering, brother.
Yeah.
And I ain't even touched a purse yet.
Once you get your hands on some loot, I'll be happy to play you for your hard-earned groschen
Yeah.
back at the camp.
Poor old Fletch. Never gets to see the action from close up.
What about you, Dangler? What do you expect to find?
Yeah.
Futility and human suffering, like always.
Always full of good cheer, eh, Dangler? Why don't you take a leaf out of Stone's book? Shut the fuck up.
Jesus, I wish you'd all shut the fuck up.
Keep your eyes peeled, though. There might be someone hiding out here still. Look for clues and question the survivors, if there are any.
Не самое удачное, конечно, решение делать субтитры динамическими на персонажах, при том, что здесь конница, но это было, конечно, жестко.
Jesus Christ, what a massacre.
Ох уж эта грустная музыка.
No signs of resistance. They simply slaughtered them like animals. Looks like it happened fast. They can't be all that clever, or they'd have taken the wagon. God almighty.
Нахера им эта полоска?
They turned the place over good and proper. Kuno will want to know about this. Poor wretch.
А, пёсель, я-то думаю, кого он?
What a pile of shit. I wonder if they found anything valuable at all. I found this shield in a shed along with a letter. Seems like someone left us a message.
Show me that. I know that crest. It's the House of Zul. A dangerous lot, God's truth. I don't think we'll find anything else here. We'll stay here a while, just in case. And you should go and report to Radzig what happened.
What do you know about these Zuls?
A family of impoverished nobles. They fought in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia. But what they're after in Bohemia, I've no idea.
I thought I could go and search for those raiders. They might not have gotten very far yet.
All right. It's always good to have an extra pair of eyes. We'll keep searching here for a while, and then head back to the camp.
Так, зачем я на это подписался? Непонятно. Потому что мне вообще спать пора, и я уже спать хочу. Но я зачем-то вызвался на еще какую-то фигню. Так, рекомендуется спросить у Перо. В журнале написано, что он толковый следопыт и может что-то заметить, подсказать нам, где что поискать.
My luck's not in today.
You found anything interesting?
Fuck all. They cleaned him out good and proper. But one fellow was still alive.
And did he tell you anything?
He mumbled something about some Lord something. Zul, I think.
He could be the one who left this letter here.
This one smells pretty good for a stiff.
Не осуждаю. Лутай, лутай. Мы все за счет этого живем.
Isn't a radish from a corpse supposed to bring good luck?
Как можно осуждать человека, который лутает труп, если я сам копаюсь в могилах? Так, это явно не те воины, которых я ищу, но мне и эти подойдут. Главное до них правильно докопаться, так сказать, с правильной стороны. Что-то у меня давно колбасы свежей в карманах не валялось.
Hé, ki van ott? Mi a szar volt az? Itt épp. Hé! Itt nem látok, megjött a mulatság.
Я подумал, что он вернулся. А это тот, который отходил. А почему у тебя нет ушей?
Seems they met some resistance at the farm.
Так, возня явно в этом направлении. А вот и трава подвытоптанная.
What a waste. Well, at least I know which way they went.
Мне же не показалось, вы же видите. А, вороний глаз. Что такое вороний глаз? Вдруг это что-то полезное. Не, ну художники молодцы, конечно.
There they are.
Разберитесь с налетчиками, а мне бы помощь позвать бы.
I tracked down those raiders.
You did? Well, nice work. So where are they?
A short way to the east, in a glade in the woods. They're dividing up their loot.
How many of them are there?
Я думаю, около 7.
About 7.
We'll see. I'll tell the lads we're gonna deal with them. Nice and quiet. Hey! To me, now! Listen up! Henry tracked down those bastards who raided the farm. They're dividing up their loot not far from here. So let's pounce on them and give them what for. Move out!
Почему? Ну почему я не могу бежать просто с их скоростью? Почему быстрее-то? Ой,
Quiet as the grave, as the stone would say.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one since. Let me see.
At a loss for words, are you?
Stop it, please. Or I'll split my sides laughing.
I feel sorry for the stone. Imagine not being able to insult your enemy's mother.
Ah, big mouth Jakey makes up for it.
I don't know how you managed without me for so long.
Who wasn't needed their back covered last time?
Jakey.
Jakey,
Fuck you. I don't need minding.
we all cover each other's backs. That's how this band works.
Get used to it.
I've no intention of getting myself killed by a bunch of bandits who pillaged a farm for cabbage.
Well, I don't know. You might get mistaken for a cabbage yourself.
Aye, he's green enough.
I'll cover you, Jakey. Got it?
Thanks a lot, Fletch.
Is that all you've got?
Пацаны, а полутать? Вы же это любите. Чего украли? Мешки с яблоками? Крестьянское тряпье? Женские платья? Вы серьезно? Добычу, говорит, они делили. И несколько бочек, видимо, с вином. Ладно, но парочка находок была приятная. Послание для пана Рацига я же не прочитал, а оно у нас, оказывается, лежит. Это Рацик кобыла, бессовестный ты изверг, лишенный всякого христианского благочестия. Я обвиняю тебя, ты отрекся от всякой чести и добродетели, когда решился на жестокие злодеяния против меня и моей семьи. Я нарекаю тебя беспородной собакой за совершение тех подлостей, что ты, несомненно, прекрасно помнишь. Я вызываю тебя на поединок, как того требует рыцарская честь, дабы ты не прятался трусливо за стенами своего замка и защищал свое имя и имя своего рода, как и следует поступить человеку благородного звания. Если ты откажешься, я пройду по этой земле, тогда все узнают, что ты бесчестный негодяй, недостойный благородного общества, а твой щит я прибью к позорному столбу на поругание. Богом клянусь, что буду поступать по справедливости и чести своего рода, совершая против тебя лишь то, что ты заслужил. Мой гнев направлен только против тебя, но чем дольше ты трусливо прячешься от меня, тем дольше я буду разорять и грабить эту землю. Но это будет на твоей совести. Подписано 2 июня в год 403 от Рождества Христова паном Хагеном Тулем. Ага. Сивка, ты что-нибудь понял? Потому что я что-то не особо.
God be with you, Henry. Congratulations on winning the tournament. I'm proud of you.
О, спасибо. Он действительно, на самом деле, производит впечатление хорошего лидера. Он всегда в курсе, все знает. Такое.
Sir, I'm afraid I have some bad news. We came across a burnt-out farm near Merhoyed.
Christ! It seems Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
Now, this is something else, sir. We found a shield there with a crest. A tricolour star on a blue field.
I know that coat of arms, unfortunately. It's the House of Zul.
There was a letter there, too.
Show it to me. Although I think I already know what it will say.
Here you are, sir.
Unscrupulous beast. Cruelty and malevolence. I challenge you to face me in a duel, defend your honor. Antinomious wretch? Well, that's nice. Signed, Hagen Zul. As I expected, old grievances coming back to haunt me.
This Sir Hagen wants to challenge you to a duel.
Apparently, he still hopes I will agree to this kind of outmoded solution to disputes.
Surely you can't refuse a challenge to a duel. What about your honor?
Henry, my boy, honor is a splendid thing, and it should be held in high regard. But in time, you'll learn that some matters are not so straightforward.
Like this one?
Yes, like this one. The only reason Hagen is challenging me now is that he has a marked advantage. I've served as the royal hetman for the last 15 years and become a courtier. Hagen, meanwhile, was fighting in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia, and elsewhere as a mercenary. Which of us do you think would win a duel? That's not honor, but an abuse of honor. Commonplace opportunism. I don't blame him for trying, but I'm not such a fool as to play by his rules.
What happened between you and Sir Hagen?
That's a long story.
Well, if I'm to know what I'm up against, I'll need to hear at least the gist of it.
True. All right, in a nutshell. Several years ago, I had to resolve a bloody feud between the Zuls and another family. The Zuls were clearly in the wrong, but refused to accept my ruling. So, I hanged the head of the family, razed their castle to the ground, and confiscated their property. Ever since then, they've had it in for me, not surprisingly.
But you acted in good conscience.
Yes, although in retrospect it might seem excessively harsh. And it doesn't help that the other family is related to mine.
What are we going to do about this?
You and Kuno's band will just have to deal with Hagen and prevent further mayhem. The longer he's marauding around these parts, the greater the chances that I'll finally have to succumb to his conditions.
So you'd fight him, if it came to that?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But maybe there's something else behind this challenge. Maybe it's coin he's after. Who knows?
All right. We'll deal with him, sir.
I'm sure you will, Henry.
Короче, бывает. Ничего страшного.
See you later.
Немножко сбивает с толку, что в разговорах не всегда меркнут реплики, которые содержат дополнительные опции, несмотря на то, что все эти опции ты как бы прочитал. Это нехорошо. Так, остаться в вашем лагере или успеть доехать? Мархаеда недалеко. Но это вот там ночевать. А с другой стороны, кто сказал проночевать? Чё бы не назвездюлять там кого-нибудь, чтобы мне дали с пленником поговорить поранее. Да, Севка? Я думаю, да. В принципе, тут вроде недалеко.